marketing is a very broad topic. You can go wide, there's breadth, and there's depth as far as marketing is concerned. There is no one specific way to do a marketing plan, although every marketing plan does share certain aspects and there is a lot of similarity between it. So before you dive into your marketing plan, you want to figure out what your product and what your service is. Are you promoting a government product, or is it a mom and pop shop product? Is it a restaurant? Is it some business that's affiliated with a broader brand, such as a car dealership? Are you selling trinkets online? Are you using social media marketing, internet marketing? So there's a lot of questions that go into putting together a marketing plan, and I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to choose exactly what you're gonna write about, what you're going to cover. But I do want you to know from the get-go, try to be as specific as possible to what you are promoting. Think about Apple. Apple promotes specifically an iPhone to people who are interested in iPhones. There's computers, there's laptops. So each product has its unique purpose. Each product has its unique marketing. Each product has its unique promotion. So when you're working on your marketing plan, try not to clump a lot of products, a lot of information into your marketing plan. Keep it simple. Less is definitely better because you want to be as clear and concise and specific as possible. You want a narrow approach. You want your niche. You want to be specific. You don't want to do mass marketing, at least not in this part of the game, okay? So why a marketing plan? You want to share your vision. You're sharing your vision either with your team members. You're sharing your vision maybe with your partner, with underwriters. Maybe you're a nonprofit and you're sharing your vision with partners, with donors, with some fundraising. So who are you sharing your vision with? Maybe you are the director of a marketing department and you want to share your vision on the direction of a specific product with your rest of the team, with your sales team, with your marketing team, with your operations team, with your engineering team. So a marketing plan can take a life of its own. It all depends on what you want to share your vision. All right, so think again, once again, are we talking about brick and mortar? Are we talking about an online product? Are we talking about a service such as lawyer services, medical services? Do you provide some type of entertainment like radio, TV, online streaming? So identify your product and what value does your product provide? What solution are you providing? Are you moving your customer towards pleasure, or are you moving them against pain? Essentially, that's what marketing does. We're either moving our customers towards pleasure or against pain. I used to think that marketing was a way to make money. I thought marketing was a sales thing because usually there is sales involved in marketing. But honestly, making money, increasing revenue, it's all a byproduct of your marketing efforts. What I've learned over the years, I've been doing marketing for 25 years, is that you really want to help people move forward. You want to help them gain experience, get something that's good for them, towards pleasure, against pain, and usually the categories are either health, wealth, and happiness. So our job is, yes, we're selling a trinket, we're selling a service, but ultimately what we're doing, we are moving people along. We are helping them along in their journey. So I want to just make sure that that's clear. There's a lot of personal touch. There's a lot of personal selling involved in marketing. It's not just about, hey, here's product X and it's going to cost you Y. I think nowadays, especially with social media, experiential marketing, the experience that the customer gets is more important today than ever. What your marketing plan must include, because it's the foundation of marketing, is your product, price, place, and promotion. Once again, your product, is it a local product? Is it a national product? Is it a product that only exists online? Is it a tangible product? The price, is it an upfront price? I want you guys to start thinking also in terms of the lifetime value of a customer. There's a saying in marketing that 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your customers. It's much easier to keep your current customers happy than it is to bring in new customers who simply come in, do a one-off transaction, and they're gone and never come back. If they never come back, that's probably because your product or your service didn't fulfill whatever needs that they needed at that time. So think about the price that your customer is willing to pay and the price that you're willing to charge in order to keep your customer for a long time. Place, is it online? Is it in person? Is it automated? Is it an automated service? The promotion, of course, is going to be getting the word out. So once again, people want an outcome. They want the product that they're purchasing to bring them either health, wealth, or happiness. Even a pack of bubble gum, as simple as it may seem, it's bringing happiness to whoever's buying it. So when you began your marketing plan, try to get, first of all, the macro view. Try to look from the outside in. A lot of times we get caught up in the business, we get caught up in the product, that we forget to step back and see what's really going on around us, to get a macro view of the marketplace. So everything starts with research. Research, once again, can be anything related to getting more information about your customer, getting more information about the space that you're working in. And once again, we're moving our customers in the categories of health, wealth, and happiness. I think essentially everything falls into those main categories. Happiness, for example, can be religion. It could be community. Happiness could be family. Happiness can be exercising, doing sports. That could be health as well. Wealth can be saving people money, So everything falls into those three categories. What solution are you as a marketer going to provide to your customers, mainly in those three categories? So do a market analysis. Who else is in the market? Who else is providing the same service or product that you're offering? Do a SWOT analysis. I've got a screen a little bit further ahead that talks about SWOT analysis, which is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Think about how your product is different from the competition. Your product differentiation. Is it a new product? Is it an existing product that you're going to improve? Or are you totally revolutionizing the market with something totally new that's going to shake everything up? And I'll give you an example here in just a little bit. So believe in the why. You need to believe in why you're doing this marketing, why you're promoting this product, why you're involved with the product. If we're really going to be successful, we need to believe in the why. When I worked in Univision, a lot of the why was the people that we serve, the Hispanic community, the immigrant community, the Spanish-speaking community. A lot of the services that advertise on Univision are services that help move the consumer along in their journey. It could be immigration services, chiropractic services. We did a lot of promotions for orthodontist, dentist, everything. If you look at it, we're moving people away from pain towards pleasure. So here's your SWOT analysis. Include this in your marketing plan as well. In addition to the 4 P's of marketing, include a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in the marketplace? In your case, is your product or services, is it new or is it a legacy product? I know we have a lot of students enrolled that work for the government, for example. There's not a lot that we can do to change those products or change those services, but maybe as managers, we could change the procedure. We could change manufacturing. We can encourage development. We can encourage change. So what are some of the strengths? Another strength could be maybe you're an independent shop. Maybe you're a coach. You're a life coach. Maybe you're a health coach and you can move quickly. Maybe you provide consulting services one-on-one, and that one-on-one service is something that not a lot of companies can offer because you have the expertise. Maybe you're a team of local salespeople working for a media outlet, or maybe you're part of a nonprofit that is very small yet nimble and very effective. Or you could go based on size, on the size of your group, on the size of your team. So what are your strengths? What are your operational advantages? Weaknesses could be budget. That's one of the major difficulties for the majority of the businesses that are operating today is the budget. rules. These could be governmental rules, city rules, environmental concerns. Demand, is there a demand for your product? Opportunities. I look at something called blue ocean versus red ocean strategy. A red ocean strategy, think about it as a ocean full of sharks, very aggressive. It's very profitable. There's a lot of demand, but there's also a lot of competition. And there's a lot of competition over the customers. Everybody's trying to get the attention of the customers and get them to buy their product and services. So that is red ocean. That is a business that is profitable, but that is very competitive. A perfect example is the health industry. We can break it down niche even more, and that is could be the exercise industry. You have, for example, Gold's Gym or Planet Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness. Well, the threats to them right now is Peloton, yoga, for example. All of those new, well, yoga's not new, but Peloton is kind of new. That's moving into the more home fitness industry. So the home fitness industry is competition to your more established gyms. So think about opportunities, think about threats. What are the results of inaction if you don't move on this marketing plan, if you don't move on this product or service? What's the inaction? What's the quality of life if you don't believe in this, if you don't take the step of faith? How is your life going to be different? How is the life of your customers going to be different? What if you have a health solution to help lower blood sugar or to help lower cholesterol? If you don't take action, then you have customers who may not be benefiting from whatever service, whether it's health coaching or exercise or diet. Inaction is also not a good thing. So think about the threats of not taking action, your opportunity costs. So the product is your idea. If you're local, it could be community, it could be convenience. Your ideal solution is your product. If you're a local business, is it a restaurant? Maybe you're providing jobs to the local economy, to cooks, chefs, waiters. You're providing unique food. Everything can be positioned differently, but essentially to encourage people to come visit your shop. An automotive industry is one example. It's one that I'm very familiar with. I've done hundreds of commercials for Chevrolet. And right there, it's traditional versus modern. Look at the Tesla. When Tesla got into the market, they totally disrupted the automotive industry. So those are, that's a product. If you're working for Tesla, you're totally coming in and you are disrupting the industry, which is a great way to get attention. If you're Chevy, well, you need to evolve. And look at Toyota, for example. Toyota comes out with the Prius. Then you have your hybrid vehicles in order to compete with your competition. So kind of have an idea of what your product is. And also manufacturing. Manufacturing is key. Where are you getting your components from? If you're a restaurant, where are you getting your ingredients from? Are they farm fresh? Are they bought from, from your grocery store, from H-E-B down the street? Or are you getting it delivered specially from a specialty shop? So manufacturing, whether it's you're making dishes or whether you're making Tesla, or whether you're making guitars by Gibson, where are you getting your raw materials from? In my case, I have a social media agency, a digital marketing agency. My equipment is computers, lights, cameras, microphones. So those are all part of the equipment that I need to do to get my product, which is a service. People that work in the government, it's a totally different industry. I've never worked for government, but I know that governments have a very strict set of rules and regulations. I am something about what I do. I do announcing. I'm an announcer for the Texas Lottery Commission. So I don't work for the lottery themselves. I'm a subcontractor. They hire me to go do some of their production. So working with government agencies is a unique skill. It's still very personal. You might think government agencies are difficult to work with. It's not that they're difficult. You can still do a lot of things working with government agencies, but it's still very people-driven. Everything is people-driven, whether you're working in local sales at your local restaurant or you're working for your local government or your national government. Essentially, business, whether it's business to business or consumer or business to consumer. It's really all about your relationships. Branding and design. Start thinking about your logo. Your logo has essentially two parts, your icon and the type. Think about the Nike logo. The Nike logo has the swoosh, but the type is Nike, all in lowercase. BMW, look at the logo. Mercedes, Chevrolet, they all have their logos, but they also have the type. Color swatch. There's colors that help identify your brand, and when customers think of your brand, that color comes to mind. So when that color comes to mind, how does that color make them feel? So think about that with your color swatch. Like, for example, Best Buy, it's blue and gold. Gold's Gym is gold and black. Planet Fitness is purple and black. So on and so forth. So start thinking about color swatch, about your logo, the icon, and the type. Packaging. How are you delivering your package? If you're a restaurant, it's the meal. How are you delivering it? How are you putting together your plates? It's got to be presentable. A lot of, they say that appetite starts in the eye because you see something and you want it. So think about packaging. Apple is big on packaging. A lot of their marketing budget and a lot of what you pay when you buy an Apple product is literally the packaging, because the packaging is an experience in and of itself. Think about logistics, and also think about outsourcing. Maybe you don't have to do everything in-house. You can outsource a lot of the marketing, a lot of your logos, a lot of your packaging. A lot of that can be outsourced, but it all goes into the cost of your product and your service. The price, I'm going to leave that optional. You don't have to include price, because I'm going to leave this part for your marketing classes, for your accounting classes that deal with price and pricing and economics, microeconomics, macroeconomics. So I'm going to leave this. This requires its own, well, all of these can be broken down into their own specialties, but I think pricing is going to be unique to your product and your service. But eventually, you can include it if you want. It depends who you're going to show this to. But pricing includes your budgeting, your revenue, expenses, profits. What does it cost to deliver your product and your service? Operational equipment, sales, salary, real estate, price points. Are you a high-end service that you're offering, or are you a nonprofit where really what you're doing is something called zero-based budgeting? Well, that's more for those of you folks who work in the nonprofit industry. We talked about cost of raw materials. Gibson guitars, for example, they use a very specific wood that has its own unique characteristics that can only be found in a certain type of tree that Gibson uses. So cost of materials, getting the wood, having it processed, having it manufactured, bringing it into your factory. So you have to consider all of that. So expense versus profits. If you want to talk about price, you are more than welcome to. But then again, I think pricing is something that takes a lot of time, a lot of deep thought, a lot of pieces to come up with your price point. One thing I do want to talk about price points is you don't want to be the cheapest price, the cheapest product on the market. That's not good for long-term value of your customers. A lot of people might not see value in your product being the cheapest one. So I think being the cheapest on the market is just a race to the bottom, honestly. Businesses are in it to make a profit, to pay expenses, and to give their employees a better life. So being the cheapest one, offering the cheapest haircut, offering, the cheapest drinks in town, it could work, but essentially I don't think it works long term, because people will get used to the lower price point, and when you try to increase your price point later on, it's going to cause some backlash. And if somebody was with you simply because of the low price point, when you try to change your prices, chances are they're going to bounce. So it's a lot easier, and it's going to cost you the same to bring in your customer. So whether they're buying something for 99 cents or for $1.99, I think you're better off to err on the side of the high end rather than being the low price leader. Value. We want to provide value. That's really what it comes down to. Place. You want online versus a brick and mortar. Put Shoply, but this is Shopify. Shopify. Okay, that's the new Etsy, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. That's some of the online. I teach online marketing as well, but right here we're going to keep it, just to these. Think about where you're doing your marketing. Is it online? Is it a brick and mortar? Or do people have to go online? Or is it a service that you can provide over the phone? Like I mentioned, especially with government contracts and even working with the media, since you're providing essentially a service, especially in the media, it's not tangible. You're selling advertising. It really comes down to the customer service, the service that your sales team provides to the customer or to the buyer if you're doing business to business. TV industry, business to business, is pretty much your salesperson communicating to the advertising agency or the marketing agency. So think about customer service. Also from a business to consumer standpoint, are you providing customer service on Twitter? Are you providing customer service via chat on your website? Is there a number that they can call for questions and answers? So think about customer service. Customer service is still at the core of marketing. And I know, especially online, more people, everything is being automated. But think about Amazon. Amazon still provides great customer service. Although they're selling your product online, the Amazon folks that drive those trucks are also an extended part of the brand. I included SaaS, software as a service. A lot of people provide software, and your software needs to provide a service. For example, there's automated reply services that you could do using email automation or messenger bots. So that on Facebook, if people contact you via Facebook, you have bots that automatically respond while you get a human on the line to answer. So that's a different conversation, but still think about where the action is taking place. Think about where the transaction and the interaction between consumer and the business is taking place. And of course, you have websites. You have unique websites that are specific to your company, or you have shared websites like Etsy, like eBay or Amazon, where your product is on there, but you're also on the same platform with hundreds, if not thousands, of similar products. So think about the place of where you're going to be offering your service. And last but not least, this is where it happens right here, promotion. This is where it all comes down to. There's a saying that when it comes to selling, 20% is really about the product. There's another 80-20 rule. 80% is all about the marketing. People buy the marketing. People come into your sales funnel via the marketing, via the promotion, getting their attention, and ultimately what you're selling them is the solution, which is your product. But what brings them in to your product is the promotion. That's where you get your traffic. You can have the best business in town. You could have the best, let me see here. You could be one of the best chiropractors in town. I've done a lot of promotions for chiropractors. But if nobody knows about you, if you're not getting any traffic to your Facebook page, to your landing page, to your sales funnel, to your website, to your phone, then it does you no good to have invested all this money in your chiropractic education, going to seminars and just practicing your craft, getting the best chiropractic beds. It does no good if you're not doing any marketing and if you're not doing any promotions. So think about Facebook advertising, Google, Instagram, radio, TV, email marketing, newsletters. You could easily publish a weekly or a bi-weekly or a monthly newsletter that gives, if you have a bar, the recipe of the month. If you're a restaurant, it could be the recipe of the month for whatever dish. You could be giving away tips and tricks to help lose weight, tips and tricks to lower your blood pressure, tips and tricks to a healthy lifestyle. tips and tricks to maintaining your vehicle. So right now there's a big shift of content marketing for every business. Tesla, for example, I mentioned Tesla earlier. Tesla right now, they're doing a lot of documentaries on how the Model 3 is built and the big revolution of the Tesla that Tesla's having in the automotive industry. So a lot of what they're doing is doing documentaries about how the Tesla's built. Elon Musk, if you're the owner of your business, put yourself out there. Become the face of the brand. So when you think of Tesla, you think of Elon Musk. When you think of Amazon, you think of Jeff Bezos. When you think of Microsoft, you think of Bill Gates, et cetera, et cetera. So put yourself out there. This is the age of information, and what better person to provide information than us ourselves, you the marketer, you the independent business owner or the corporate leader. People want to hear from you. I know it's very uncomfortable for a lot of people to be on camera, to be posting on Instagram, but honestly, there is far more people that want to hear what you have to say than us wanting to keep it to ourselves. So put yourself out there. Sales, work on your sales, think on your marketing funnels. How are you doing? What are you doing to drive traffic? Think about a funnel, to drive traffic into your funnel and to move them along into the buyer's journey. Is driving traffic from Google, from Facebook, from Instagram, from radio, from YouTube, you name it. You want to drive traffic, specific traffic, targeted traffic to your funnel, and then move them down to where eventually they become ambassadors of your product and or your service. It's a never-ending pursuit for attention. There's always something to promote. If you break down the year into 4 quarters, quarter 1 is January through February. January through March. Quarter 2 is April through June. Quarter 3 is July to September. And Q4 is October through December. So break down your marketing campaigns into quarters. This doesn't have to be your marketing campaign for the year. It doesn't have to be your big vision for your 5-year plan. This could be a 3-month plan. This could be a 1-quarter plan, or this could be your plan for the next quarter. If you have an existing product, you could be making a marketing plan for how we're going to market that product in Q2 or Q3. So think about long-term plan, short-term plan, 1-year plan, 5-year plan, and start crafting your promotions around that plan. Again, a lot has to do with whether it's a new product versus an established product versus a legacy product. So that all comes down to you, what you're involved in, what you want to be involved in, some of the goals that in your life as far as marketing. So I'm going to leave that a little open-ended so that you can figure out what you want to write about.